We're talking about assertiveness today and how it can increase your confidence and decrease stress. Let's get into it right now. Welcome to my channel, and I'm going to address a topic that I get asked a lot. And one of the things I think people do like about me is that I am very assertive. Let's go over the meaning of the word first. To be assertive does not necessarily mean you're coming across as being somebody who's like too overconfident, but at the same time somebody who is very authoritative, I should say, and in control and in command of their own opinions, their actions, and basically overall how you interact with other people. For me, being assertive is a very useful tool to use when you're trying to de-stress and try to simplify your life and all your actions and everything that you do. Being assertive can really help with that, especially when it comes to interacting with people, and especially with interacting with people that you see all the time. That means people in the workplace, your family members, co-workers, people, even some of the people that you even just see just generally, like at the store. You might run into the same gas station person who might bug you about this and that or the other. Being assertive not only deals with that area, but also deals with other areas, meaning, just like I said, your actions and how you go about being assertive with, hey, look, I want to do this today and I'm going to stick to it no matter what. That's being assertive. That can also be being relentless and persistent. They all kind of go in the same category. Being persistent sometimes that's just in you or not in you. Sometimes you can procrastinate. Some people procrastinate. I used to do it all the time. I have gotten to the point, and it's still a learning tool, I'm not nearly as bad with procrastinating as I used to be. I used to just be like, I'm just going to wait till the last minute to do everything. And that used to work out for me. The older I get, I feel like that's very stressful. Procrastination is very stressful. Just like being assertive, when you're not being assertive, that can be very stressful. And what I mean by that is this. Let's say somebody walks up to you and they say, hey, look, can you meet me here at 12 o'clock? And you have something to do at 10:30, and it's going to take you very close up to 12 o'clock to do that. And it'd be better if you did it at 1 o'clock. But you say 12 anyway, just because you don't want to be combative, you don't want to make the other person unhappy, so you say, okay, I'll make it at 12. Knowing in the back of your mind, it's going to be hard as hell to make it at that appointment at 12 o'clock. But you went ahead and said it anyway, so now you put all this extra pressure and stress on yourself to get there at 12, when, who knows, you could have said, hey, look, let's make it 1 o'clock. That gives me an extra hour to kind of just, whatever, give me some wiggle room. And if the person says, no, I really needed to be 12, unless it's mandated that you be there at 12, if you say, look, 1 really works best for me, maybe we can pick another day or another time to do it where it works best for both of us. Okay. Now, either person's either going to say, no, I can't do that, or okay. Either way, you didn't put extra stress on yourself to be there at 12 o'clock when you know it'd be better for you at 1, and the other guy is like, hey, well, it'd be better for me at 12, then maybe you guys can meet together. That's been assertive. Sticking to your guns. If your boss comes up to you and says to you 1,000 times, hey, I need you to work some overtime, and it's not mandatory for you to do it, and you just keep saying, yeah, I'll do it, and you get burnt out on it, that's pretty much on you. Because if you have the option to say no, and you keep saying yes to appease your boss, and you really don't need the extra money, you're just doing it because you don't like to tell people no, that's appeasing other people. That's succumbing to their will, when you can be assertive and say, no, look, I think I've worked enough overtime. I would like to have the weekend off. Well, we don't have anybody else. He said, look, I'm sorry, but I can't do it. But he said, look, you're making me feel uncomfortable because I've worked a lot of overtime, and I cannot do it this weekend. So the conversation's over. He has nothing. That person, he or she, has nothing else to say to you at that point. They can't make you do it. Being assertive is being in control of your own body, your own mind, and that's what I do. And I know a lot of people ask me, like, how do you get through your day? And that's how I do it. I say, today I'm going to do this, this, and this. Just like this video. Today, I knew I was going to make this video because of a conversation I had earlier today. I said, you know what? I'm going to make this video tonight. And I had some people say, hey, look, can you do this? No, because at this point in time, I'm going to make this video. But we need you to, I'm making my video at this point. That's it. After a while, especially the people who know you in your life, they will start to understand your assertiveness, and they'll know your answer before they even ask you. So they'll approach you differently. Instead of telling you what to do, they'll ask you, or they'll come up to you in a different way where they're like, hey, I know you do it like this, but can we do this? And that makes it much more easier and less stressful to talk to people when people are not automatically walking to you already knowing no matter what you're doing, you're going to change your plans to fit what they need. And people might say, well, you can't say that to your boss. That's different. If I come into work and I'm expected to do A, B, and C, then I'm going to do A, B, and C. If they come to me with the option to do X, Y, and Z, I'm going to be assertive with what I want to do with X, Y, and Z because they gave me an option, which means I can be assertive with how I handle them. That's what assertive is. And that's how I get through it. Now, assertiveness can go into overconfidence. Some people can be extremely too assertive. And let's put it in reverse. Let's say you are the boss and you come up to an employee and you say, I'm sticking to my guns with this. You're going to work the overtime or I'm not giving it to you anymore. That almost moves into almost like a bullying or a threat type of deal because you're pushing that person into a corner and you know that they have the option to say yes or no, but you're pushing them and pressuring them into saying something to make you happy. That's not being assertive. That's being an asshole. That's being overconfident. That's being a bully. That's being threatening. You're not respecting the other person's wishes to have options for themselves and for their family and for what they want to do in their life. You're not respecting that. Then that comes back to the word respect. You can be assertive, but there are boundaries that makes it turn into something completely different. And sticking to your guns in a respectful way, meaning you refer to yourself as I don't like to do this, and this is why, one way or the other. I don't like the fact that you're telling me that I have to work overtime and I'm not getting anymore because that's unfair to me and my family. Especially considering I have worked overtime for you before and I'm not asking for it, I'm only taking it when you give it to me. It makes it very difficult for that person to keep coming at you in that way because you're being fair to them. And if they continue being unfair to you, then there's always somebody you can go to and say, look, I told this person that I can't do this or I am going to do this and they're not saying eye to eye with me on it. Okay, you're not going to please everybody. You're not going to make sure, not everybody's going to like the fact that you're assertive. I can tell you that right now. There's plenty of people who cannot stand the fact that I'm an assertive person and that I pretty much stick to my guns, but it really decreases the stress in my life when I just get to the point. No, I can't do it like this, and I tell them why. I can't do it like this because of this. I can't do it like this because of this. It makes me feel a certain way. You always tell them, like, I can't do this because it makes me feel like this, or it's because I have to do this, or whatever. If you keep it on you, you're okay. If you turn your assertiveness and it pushes off on other people, and you come off as an asshole, that's a completely different thing. That's another topic for another day. Is how assertiveness can turn into pretty much being a bully to certain people, or like I said, just coming off as a complete asshole. Being assertive is sticking to your guns, being respectful to yourself and you others while you're doing so, and also putting yourself in other people's shoes and coming to a compromise with other people, making sure that you're not the one, that the scales are balanced. So, being assertive is just having your right to basically say no or yes and sticking to it. And it goes with parenting. If you're a parent, you can be assertive with your kid. You're not going to the mall until you do your homework. The conversation's over with. There's nothing else for the kid to say, there it is. There's a difference between saying that and saying you're not going to the mall until you finish your homework because you are really horrible in school and I don't even trust that you're going to come back home in time. That's not being assertive. That's being an assumptuous asshole. There's a huge difference. Assertive is yes and no at its basic core. Yes and no. And here's why. And that's it. And then pretty much that ends every conversation. You're not going to the mall until you do your homework. And I told my son the same thing. You're not playing with your toys until you finish your homework. That's it. You're not finishing. If you don't finish your homework, you're not going to play with any more toys. I'm not buying you more toys because you're doing horrible in school. And later on, if you go on with that, then that's when everything messes up. Keep it simple. Being assertive is keeping it plain and simple, and that's how you keep the stress down. The more simpler your assertiveness, the simpler the stress. The stress is much more manageable. You're going to say, okay, look, that's, hey, yes or no, that's it. And here's why. Everybody's on the same page, and that's it. Assertiveness can be done differently because of the boundaries. So the boundaries you have in each individual and in different situations will determine how assertive you need to be. But it's a skill. It's something you need to learn. I was not always assertive in my life. It's only come in maybe the last 5 or 6 years of my life where I've learned to really be assertive and stick with it. And it doesn't matter who it is. I'm assertive with everybody. I pretty much, that's just how I am. And it for me, it decreases the stress. Everybody deals with assertiveness different. And like I said, it goes all the way to some people are super assertive and some people aren't assertive enough. It's definitely a skill, something that you have to kind of look yourself in the mirror and figure out for yourself. But for me, assertiveness is yes or no, and here's why, and move on. Moving on from this video, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and get united, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Be you, be genuine, but above all, be safe. See you guys next time. Take care.